Hey, Good Sam, this is Pastor Jed. Happy New Year. On Sunday, we gather together to start the new year right. We worship God, we celebrated God's goodness, and we remember that God is a communicator. I love the fact that when we are introduced to God, God is speaking. God is bringing forth creation. He's not thinking creation into being. He's not working creation into being with God's hands. He's speaking. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I speak, nothing happens. But when God speaks, everything happens. On Sunday, we continue the tradition that we have. It's called Word for the Year. We're mindful that God is a communicator, that God continues to speak. On Sunday, we were reminded that God speaks and creation explodes into being, that God speaks and His Word comes to us so that we can understand God's heart and God's story and God's plan for us. God speaks through Jesus Christ, the ultimate word, God's final word. Finally, we were reminded that God continues to speak. We've been asking God every year as we begin the year to give us a word that will guide us, a word that will coach us, a word that will help us to become who God intends for us to be. On Sunday, I gave you this sheet of paper. On the back of it, it has several questions to lead you and to guide you as you are discerning what your word for the year would be. As you make your way through this process, I want you to know that I've been thinking and I've been praying for you. As I was thinking of my word for the year is discipline. It's interesting because discipline isn't a word that I would normally choose for myself because honestly, I'm not a very disciplined person. But I came across this verse. It's in 2 Timothy 1:7. For the Spirit God gave does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. As I was thinking about 2024, I recognized that this was not going to be a timid year for me. The good thing is that God has given me His Spirit, and that God's Spirit gives me power. God's Spirit gives me grace. God's Spirit gives me love. God's Spirit gives me discipline. It keeps me on track day after day. Week after week, month after month. I want to be faithful. I want to be faithful in reading my Bible. I want to be faithful in praying. I want to be faithful in supporting my wife Heidi and being a good father to my children. I want to be faithful in being a good pastor to Good Samaritan. So this word is going to help me to grow spiritually. It's going to help me be rooted in practices to help me to become everything that God has intended for me. I think the same is true for you. And so I want you to know that I'm thinking and praying for you as you identify your word. On Sunday, bring back your piece of paper, or you can shoot me a text or send me an email letting me know what your word for the year is. When I get these, I keep them on my desk and I pray for you as you are living into your word for the year. And so I'm glad that we're on this journey together. I'll see you on Sunday as we continue our series. We're starting a new one called The Power of Words. So if you don't know how powerful you are, if you don't know how much influence you have, then you've got to come help us to jump into this new series, The Power of Words. See you Sunday. Blessings.